What's the most money you've ever made on a free bet? Oh my God! If you're like me, whenever a sportsbook offers you free money, my bets get weird. Give me $100 to spend on a potential Browns AFC championship? I'm in. But in January 2022, 3 separate people won an insane amount of money by betting on the correct score in both the AFC and NFC championship games. One of them using a free $20 bet from FanDuel. So how the hell did that happen? The number 29,000, or more specifically, 29,000 to 1 odds of that score actually hitting. The first game of the day was the AFC Championship game between the Chiefs and the Bengals. While we know the Bengals won the game, it's worth noting that Kansas City was the favorite, not only to win the game, but to go on and win the Super Bowl as well. In fact, the Chiefs were minus 330 favorites to win the game and had a minus 7 spread over the Bengals. So simply selecting the Bengals to win would have brought in some pretty good cash. But to predict a correct score of 27 to 24 Bengals, those were plus 22,000 odds. That free $20 bet would have turned into $4,400. The NFC Championship game was slightly easier to predict, but still pretty difficult. The Rams were favorites over the 49ers, their NFC West rivals. But while sportsbooks were predicting a Rams win, the Niners had already previously beaten LA twice in the regular season. The first was 31-10 in Week 10, and the second was a 27-24 OT win in Week 18. In fact, the Rams hadn't beaten the Niners in their last 6 matchups. On top of that, both the Rams and Niners had strong offenses, averaging 25 plus points per game in 2021. So to predict a final score of 20-17 in favor of the Rams is wild. Maybe it's not as crazy as the Bengals score, but still pretty insane. The odds were plus 13,000. The free $20 bet would have turned into $2,600. So, a plus 22,000 bet and a plus 13,000 bet. Just winning one of them would have been an epic day. But if you put them together into a parlay, those odds go all the way up to plus 2,985,000. Yes, almost 3 million. Honestly, I didn't even know odds could get that high. I don't need to tell you that both the Bengals and the Rams ended up winning those games. And if you're watching this video, you know it's because, well, the scores were predicted correctly. But just looking at the final box score doesn't really express how close these games were. Let's break it down. It took an Evan McPherson 31-yard field goal in overtime for the Bengals to pull it out. And the Rams were actually down 17-7 going into the fourth. It ended up taking a Cooper Kupp TD to close the gap to 17-14. And with 10 minutes left, the Rams had 0 timeouts remaining. Jimmy G then went 1 for 6 for a total of 3 yards during his last 2 drives to allow the Rams to come back and win. But here's where I'm gonna blow your mind. That free $20 bet, it turned into $579,020. FanDuel confirmed that it is indeed real and that a user in Connecticut was paid out for it. But remember, that user wasn't the only winner that day. Another FanDuel member turned $5 into $145,000, and a third put down a cool $2 just to see it turn into $58K. Truly mind-numbing returns. Because if I won $579,000, I certainly wouldn't be sitting here right now. Thanks for watching another episode of How the Hell. Speaking of money, what would you do if you won that type of cash? Let me know in the comments. I'll see you next time.